Oh, hey friends, welcome to the vibes.
That was so good. That was so good.
All right, so let's get into the vibes. What you got going on? What you been listening to, Darwin?
Well, there's really only one thing that anybody could be talking about this weekend, and this particular, what is this, November 20th weekend, 19th, 18th weekend. But before I get there, I have a couple honorable mentions. Unfortunately for y'all just have to have fallen in this particular weekend, but there's still some creative work out there. There's still some good projects that folks should check out as they vibing, you know what I mean, and just enjoying their weekends, enjoying their week, something to cleanse your palate from the everyday muck of the news and all that stuff. Scavenger's Reign. It's a joint on HBO. Now, I get it. It's anime, and a lot of people they think they grown. They think they're too grown for anime. Oh, it's cartoon. You know what I mean? Jeff, you watch anime, right?
Yeah, it's adult animation. That's what it is.
It's adult animation.
It's not cartoons.
Yeah. So people gotta. I wish people would just like expand your palette a little bit. Yeah. This joint, don't take my word for it. 10 out of 10 on IGN, 8.9 in IMDb, and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now you don't have to.
Is it really that nice? Nah.
What did I tell you? When I say in the vibes, I'm trying to tell y'all.
I understand. If it's in the
open
vibes,
up your eyes, open your ears.
But
I know what I be doing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm putting it out. I wouldn't put my stamp on it if the joint wasn't nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this. Okay, you see, you got 8.9 on IMDb, for example, 10 out of 10 IGN. So like, don't take any one, because I have problems with Rotten Tomatoes individually sometimes.
Rating system is weird.
Rating systems that they have, and maybe IMDb, I have a problem with them. But like when you put them all together, and this is the score. This is why I listed all three.
It must be pretty good if they all have pretty high scores.
Yo, it's like critically acclaimed, and the audience score versus the critic score, all this stuff, like it's that good of a show. The thing is that it's what the theme is, it's a space, it's science fiction. We are a spacefaring society at that point. It's futuristic and all that. So they're explorers, and something goes catastrophically wrong, and they find themselves on this new planet, and so they have to explore. I'm still trying to guess what the title means. Scavenger's Reign. So reign as in like monarch, right? Winning and kind of thing. So my theory is that the scavenger is the person who explores and makes something out of nothing, or finds utility in something that's mundane that was out there. Yeah, it becomes like you like kind of MacGyver the fuck out of that shit. Remember, remember that movie? I think it was in Matt Damon. It was Mars, Lost on Mars.
Oh,
what was that?
With Matt Damon. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What's the Red Planet? What's the name of that damn planet? That movie, I mean.
I can't remember the name of the movie. But he created like a whole ecosystem within.
Yeah, he got stuck out there, and he had to find a way to survive. And he said, "Man, I'm going to science the fuck out of that shit."
Yeah,
right?
He did. He low-key even found fuel. He found fuel to get back.
That's
crazy. He created
potatoes and stuff. He had to get credit. So this is what this is some of the challenges that some of these that all of these characters have to face, and they're meeting all kinds of creatures and scenarios. There's one part where it rains shards of glass.
That's crazy. It's called The Martian. That's what
The Martian.
The Martian, yeah.
The Martian. Shards of glass. Imagine you find yourself in a spot. Now you have this. This is a whole new problem you never had to consider before, bro. You can try to invent an umbrella all you want. That bit don't hit the same.
Yeah, not at the very least.
Right. And so that's just one little conundrum. But like it's not just putting them in tough spots and having them figure a way out of the tough spot. There is character development that's happening through every minute. The dialogue between two characters, how they're evolving, how they're growing. Yes, granted, the environment thrusts them in some situations that make them have to look inward or think, what I mean, outside the box and all kinds of stuff. But overall, it's a little bit dark, right? It's not a childish joint at all, because it gets real dark. People die.
So.
There's blood. You know what I mean? And the reward, I think, is for people who explore, people who like to explore, people who enjoy exploration. One little small little nitpicky thing that I would say, not about this, but about a bunch of alien or sci-fi kind of shows or movies, even, like, bro, these aliens, why they all gotta be like humanoids, man? 2 arms, 2 legs. Scavenger's Reign don't do that. You get all kinds of weird creatures.
Yeah, weird, creative. Yeah.
I hate that joint, man. It's always be freaking humanoid.
Because it's indicative of the limitation of human creativity when you see those.
Niggas, dog, please,
but
the
now,
failure of imagination.
It's a limit on imagination. But now people are kind of stretching the imagination now, where they're creating now, like, aliens could actually look like things that we can't even imagine. I don't believe in them, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be playing in the imagination, if it's art, just go off the wall with it. You know what I mean? Like, stop limiting yourself to just the thing that you already knew.
Yeah, it has to be completely abstract for sure. Like
very abstract stuff. Yeah. Nina was watching one when I put her on the first episode of it. She was like, "Oh, I can't watch anymore right now. I have to process what the hell just happened."
That's crazy.
Like, it's a thinking person show. It's you can't multitask with it. You got to sit there and watch that joint.
Damn, and I gotta actually focus.
You gotta focus on that bit, but you're gonna thank yourself. You're gonna thank yourself. 10 out of 10.
That's what I enjoyed about The Expanse when I was watching Expanse. It was one of those.
The Expanse was a good show. Expanse was a good show. That's a vibe too. The Grammys came out. The Grammys. The Grammy nominations came out, and I'm tight. I'm feeling tight.
All right. I've been, I don't really be looking at that.
Now I get it. Like probably what you're thinking too. People, a lot of people, it's the Grammys. It's like they get it wrong all the time. Popularity contest, just like kind of Oscars kind of thing. And so that's why when we have something like we talked about Scavenger's Reign, you look at all the different critics there, from IMDb to Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff. Then you can be like, okay, this is probably legit in terms of, like, this is good quality stuff. Yeah. The Grammys in and of itself, it's like there's not a lot of competition in terms of who like, maybe not even MTV, because that's a huge popularity joint. People's Choice, that's popular. You know what I mean? So, but there's something to be said, I guess, if you're top 5 in all of those different ones, as flawed as those systems may be, that okay, maybe this album is worth a listen, maybe it's enjoyable even, right? Yeah. So take it with a grain of salt that it's the Grammys, okay? Regardless, it's a huge institution. It's been around for a long ass time.
Yes.
And I'm tight. We looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the 8 albums for album of the year. I'm happy to report that Challenge Day featured 4 of these albums. 50%.
Yeah, I noticed that when I looked at the list.
I'm just trying to say, I kind of know what I'm talking about. Again, I'm not the arbiter, and the Grammys ain't the arbiter, but they have professionals making this kind of judgment, and it's been on the show. If y'all been listening to the show, as a matter of fact, this is your chance to go back at our catalog. Yeah, go back and look at the Challenge Day catalog, because stuff that didn't make it on the list, like, wait, so if Challenge Days got all these like that, what other gems have they probably put us on that we skipped? Go back and listen to some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Sun Little, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like a random joint like that, Leon Bridges, I think I might have had one of those somewhere, freaking RJ Payne, just a bunch of folks. Atherosphere, remember that album? We talked about that.
That was
remember that?
Interesting.
Bro, I'm trying to put people on game. Even when I put out the Miley Cyrus, some people maybe were like, what, Miley Cyrus, and kind of laughing at, bro, and here it is. Nominated. Now, with that said, one album that you might go back and look at in our catalog that is glaringly missing is Lil Yachty. What the F?
Come on, bro.
So hold on. I just gave you that whole
really?
layout. I just gave you that whole layout about our catalog.
Okay, so
and I mentioned an album on our catalog. And what you saying? What you saying?
I'm saying is that really surprising though? And remember, even back then, I was like, when I listened to it, I was like, musically, it's a very well crafted album. I agree with you. Remember, I agree with you on that point. But Grammy though, man.
My G, you have Lana Del Rey on there, and you have Taylor Swift on there.
They may be on there because of, like I mentioned before, popularity. So that's probably why.
Okay, but we talk about music, or we talk about music, or we talk about popularity. Like I'm trying to give them a little bit here.
So but it's also a thing of like, you know how the Grammys feel about hip hop and rap albums. Like, you know how, so there's always that glass ceiling for like rappers and.
But I mean, right? I get that. Totally get that. But Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was nominated. You know,
but
Kanye.
But now you're comparing Kendrick Lamar to Lil Yachty.
I'm not comparing those. You're just saying that rap album don't get a fair shake.
I feel that. I feel that.
But they do get Kendrick, nominated.
They do, but Kendrick is. I mean, he's in another stratosphere with it though. Like it's like he's the elite of the elite though when it comes to that. So like you have to kind of
and matter of fact, you have to remember what I said about the matter of fact, let's correct something I just said there. Because I said again about the Yachty album, it wasn't even a freaking a rap album.
That's true. It was a collective sound.
It was a collection of sound, soul, electronica, almost future psychedelic music.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it didn't even have to. It could shed all of that. You know, if Lil Yachty had released that as an anonymous or pseudonym, it would have got nominated. It's because Lil Yachty comes with a lot of.
He comes with a lot of
a lot of expectations, a lot of baggage, a lot of like all those things. You know about what it is to be Lil Yachty. Stereotypes, all of that stuff. So that's kind of bullshit. So I feel some type of way about that. The two other albums that's not on the list, and we're gonna go what's on the list, but two albums that's not on the list is Jungle, right? Jungle had this album Volcano that is doing numbers like crazy. I went and saw them in concert, matter of fact, a couple months ago. You know, and everybody's posting their goddamn album, like on their like you hear somebody posting something on socials, and what's that song in the back? Oh, it's a Jungle song. And then somebody else will post something, a cooking video, and like, oh, there's Jungle again.
They was really hitting like that. Okay.
They really hitting like all of their music is always hitting all over social media, but they don't get no direct love in something like that. I think they're glaringly missing. They are big, they are huge, and they're organically huge. It's not like they have a huge media blitz or anything like that. So that's crap that Jungle album didn't make this list. But freaking Taylor's Killer Mike.
if it's
you can't have both Miley Cyrus. You can't have both Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift for the same. Bro, if it's pop, you already know that gives you significant advantage. If it's pop and you're known as a pop artist, it's always gonna give you an advantage, bro. Like that's just the nature.
We got a pop representation on the list. Now I will go over it again. We'll go down and say the other album that I think is missing, which go back to what you're talking about. Rap albums don't get the love that they need to, but Killer Mike dropped that album, Michael. This is, I think it is. Is this his debut album? That Michael album.
So I will say that's the album that I would have expected that would have gotten this nod over the Yachty album. That specific album.
But don't say over the Yachty album. Yachty is not a rap album. So you say over another rap album? Then what rap album you talk about? You're not talking about Lil Yachty. You don't even bring him up.
So. But according to
I'm tight. I'm fucking tight.
According to these Grammy heads, he was still placed under that, even though based on what we saw of the album and what we heard of it, we were like, yeah, it's not a rap album. It's an art piece. So who's made the list? Okay, the full list of nominees in no particular order: Lana Del Rey, Olivia Rodrigo, SZA, Phoebe Bridges, John Baptiste,
Janelle Monáe, Miley Cyrus, of course, and Taylor Swift. So the ones that, of course, that you've seen on Challenge that we told you about was Lana Del Rey album. And I like the album. Yeah. This is why I talked about it. This is why I recommended it. I like the album. Mm-hmm. But should it have gotten a nom? Hell no. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. Like, what? Like, oh, y'all listen to it? I'm like, dog, that's the glaring thing about that sells you. Well, you can't really take this Grammy thing serious. Come on. Yeah. Out of all the albums that came out in 2023, we put Lana Del Rey on the out of 8 spots.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment to make for sure. But what makes it a little bit more but what makes it murky though is that there are solidified albums, like dope albums on it as well. You have a person who shouldn't be nominated, but we're going down it. Yeah, we're gonna go down the list, and we'll get to that right now. Mm-hmm. We had Lana Del Rey. Mm-hmm. She do not deserve to be. That was a great album, Lana. Your work is evolving. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I loved it. I featured it. Yeah. I love the album. I listened to it multiple times. But Grammy worthy, you weren't really.
Sorry, nah, man. Okay, Olivia Rodrigo. I gave this album one listen, and I was just like, this is just some cookie cutter ass, nothing fucking special happening ass shit.
Really?
And out of the 8 slots, it gets one. Fuck out of here. All right. Hey, I'm sure you put your heart and soul into that joint, but there's only 8 slots. There's a lot of music that came out this year.
Listen, we putting our heart and soul into these episodes, and so we know how I feel.
I guess I would feel some type of way too. You know what I mean? Yeah. When she hears this. SZA, amazing album, dope album. I don't know exactly where I was in.
She's a dope artist too, though.
Dope artist. Yeah. We did not feature. I would have definitely featured SZA's album on Challenge Day, and I would have said yes, it deserves, because it is on the list. It deserves it. It does deserve it. We just happened to not have featured it, but I listened to it. I loved it. I thought I posted on it. But I went back and it looks like I have to keep a better catalog, bro. I could have sworn we featured that album.
Maybe you probably posted a track or something like that of SZA, but not
maybe a track. Is there a way? If I could look at this doc, right? Could I search the whole I'm looking at the spreadsheet that we use. It's not there. But hey, I'm not mad because hey, it got. I mean, it's not like it was waiting on Challenge Day to do numbers. You know what I'm saying? Right. We gonna get there though. Y'all gonna want to be featured on Challenge Day vibes. We gonna get there.
That's a fact.
But it's cool. SZA made it. No problems there. No argument for me. So far, 1. They got it. I think 1. They got 1 right. Phoebe Bridgers, I did not listen to. I gotta be honest with that. I didn't listen to that album. It didn't come across my. Because I mean, I do research on what I'm gonna put my time into and here, you know what I mean, or if it comes across my timeline, because not my timeline, but like my feed, because of other albums that I listen to, because I have such a wide variety of taste. I get all kinds of different recommendations, and for some reason it just never came across. And so I never listened to it. So we'll see, you know, how it does in terms of the actual awards. John Baptiste, that was not too long ago. That one came out, and we featured it on Hey, and I was like, "Yo, this joint goes," and it's on the list. That got that one right. All right, so that's 2. Y'all got 2 right. All right, SZA and John Baptiste album. Janelle Monáe, another amazing album, featured on Challenge Day. All right, John Baptiste was featured. Janelle Monáe's featured. And they got that one absolutely right. The Age of Pleasure. She was unapologetic in this album, and was really it is more poppy, so you kind of say it does have that kind of advantage because it's a pop kind of album. So you know, definitely deserve being on that list. She probably I could see Age of Pleasure finishing. I mean, this list is very flawed, but in any list of 8 that was, let's say, of quality 8 that they had, Janelle Monáe album could finish top 3 easily, right? The Age of Pleasure. On this particular list, it should finish top 2, if not win it. If
Yachty joint was on there and Killer Mike joint was on there, would you feel the same way?
Top 3? I think. Okay, so I think what I said about Yachty. Did I say Yachty should win, or I think I said Yachty should be nominated?
You say he should be nominated, yeah.
I should be nominated. I think both of those. I think top 3. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Really, even with those? Okay.
Yeah, I think Janelle Monáe's album. There's a lot more to consider You know, you can't just consider just, oh, it's so artsy. Because like the Yachty album, oh, it's so artsy. You know what I mean? Just give it all the points because of that. There's a lot of it to consider. There's the album length, there's composition, there's how do the tracks flow together. I remember I love the goddamn the thing about
like continuous play.
Yeah, the continuous segue albums. I love those. You know, so
continuous segue.
So you know that kind of tilts the thing a little bit for me specifically. But anyway, Endless Summer Vacation. A great album. They got it right. I was so surprised that they got Miley Cyrus on this joint because I feel like her whole career, they have like she's been in the shadow of her father, right? But B, she didn't really know who she was. She was on a freaking journey doing all kinds of other kind of music. Poppy trying to be like the female Justin Bieber a little bit kind of thing. It just was just like she was just like all over. And then like the last couple of albums, she's like, you know, I found my lane.
Fine-tuning her sound and
find lane. Like the vocal selections that she makes is within herself. She's not trying to do too much, you know.
And she's actually
her songs are passionate. Say again.
She's actually a really good artist, like really good musician for sure. Like she's like legitimately talented, but I think a lot of like what you were just mentioning, like because she was not really sure of who she was, the kind of sound that she wanted, she did a lot of experimentation, a lot of it that was crazy, a lot of it that was wild.
I mean, there was a lot of hype, you know what I mean? We got hip hop and rap and all kind of stuff going on. So you trouble
a couple times.
You do all that kind of all those things. You want to be the bad girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, you know, it just took her some time to mature into like what she's becoming now. So
I did not think they would ever give her that respect. I did. That's why we featured her, and the album was amazing. And I saw it on here. I was like, oh snap!
Yo, she don't.
And remember, this is what I said at the time: was that in a just world, Miley Cyrus should be what Taylor Swift is. Miley Cyrus should be upset.
I ain't gonna lie. You might have a point.
Taylor Swift is a one-note talentless. Like, what even is a Taylor Swift? Like, I've listened to a couple
that is a
songs.
Phenomenal question.
I've listened to a couple of. I mean, I've listened to that one album. I forgot. Was it 21? 21 or something like that. One of them. Like, it's fun. It's fun.
Yo, that's so.
I enjoyed it. Bro. I put it up loud. You know what I mean? Cleaning up the house or driving in your car.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. It's funny. Every time I see her, it's like she irks me. And I'm like, why does this one individual irk me every time?
No, because she doesn't because there's no merit. There's no merit to justify like her
notoriety,
her level of fame and fortune and success.
Yeah.
Like if there ever was an industry plant,
that's how I feel about Kim Kardashian.
He's the stereotype. Yeah. She was the archetype. Like she's just so like, man, she's serviceable. She's serviceable. But yo, she's a pretty face.
Yeah.
And a thin waist. That's it.
Yeah.
She ain't out singing nobody, you know. She ain't out singing sis. Like let's go on a talent show and go sing. Get on stage and sing.
But most of these artists nowadays, they can't sing anyways. Most of them cannot.
That's fine.
They just have a
Miley
sound.
Cyrus isn't the greatest singer ever, but she be singing.
Yeah, I mean it's raw.
There's a difference. You know it when you hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
The only reason
it's like listening to like when you listen to like a jazz singer or like you have jazz singers. You have jazz singers who are amazing, right? Like
Miles Davis, Nina Simone.
But when you hear people like they're not like vocally like
even Mary J. Blige
crazy. But like, because she has a sound. I mean, but there's a whole thing with Mary J. Blige where she got rich off of like making emotional breakup music.
But that's fine. But I'm talking about when we talk about you judge somebody on the control of tone and pitch and voice and frequency and matching and all that harmonize all that
found
stuff.
They found a sound that works for sure, and it's a formula. And they go crazy.
Taylor Swift is on this damn list only because her name is Taylor Swift. That's it.
That's probably true.
That's it. The album Midnights. It's just.
But she's popping
because she's like Taylor and she's pop. And again, you also have the bonus points because you're pop, bro. In a just world, I think what I said was the queen of white girls, Miley Cyrus, should be challenging her for the throne. They should do that.
Yes.
You can't have both of them on this list. One of them
Yeah.
is actually talented, you know, and is putting out the great quality work. The other one is just got some notoriety because she's algorithmically fortunate.
Taylor Swift is low key. I mean, she's like low key a musician too, though. I personally don't think on the same level.
She ain't no great musician. She ain't no Coltrane.
I didn't say she was great. I didn't say she was great.
Hendrix.
I said she's a musician. That's all I said. I said she's low key a musician.
She ain't no Alicia Keys. Are you kidding me?
Of course not. That's a whole different level. That's a whole different level. Like Alicia Keys is a singer songwriter. Like I have the utmost like that's what I value more. I value the singer songwriter more than anything. So when it comes to music, because that's what I do personally.
You go to her shows, these performances. Mommy is just freaking catwalking up and down the damn stage. You see what Beyonce did in DC? Beyonce had heels on. It was pouring raining. She was damn near doing backflips and landing every trick, every move.
That's Beyonce.
Breathwork, singing every damn song. It was pouring down rain.
That's her whole style, brother. She just be out there dancing.
Mommy is just walking to the left, walking to the right, smiling, do a hair flip. The fuck? This is talent.
That's what she do.
Have you ever seen Usher concerts? Have you ever? Have you ever seen Pink? Pink.
Yeah, Pink,
going crazy. She's flying all over the place. Pink rocking the stage.
Chris Brown going crazy. He going crazy. Like those are people who are like certified performers. Like you're bringing like a whole different thing, a whole different side.
Taylor Swift does not belong. There's only 8 spots, bro. Only 8 spots for the whole year. She does not belong.
Who would you?
So that's the list.
Outside of who? Well, I mean, Miley Cyrus is there. Who would you have replaced Taylor Swift with?
I mean, there's a ton. There's a ton. Like from particularly like what I would do is I would go through our like our catalog and find somebody there. I remember there was what was this when did this album come out? What's that freaking was it Magic 2? That Nas album? Yeah. I would have put Magic 2.
Yeah, but you're a little biased towards Nas.
I'm biased, so you know, I'd be like, I wouldn't have gotten away with that. Nobody would let me get away with that one. Adele's not Adele, what's her name? Brandy Clark. That was a great album, but I don't know if I would have nominated her. I would have nominated Baby Rose. We featured her, but that is a very exclusive kind of genre, and I don't know. I don't know if that it just is it. For example, the other one I would have what's his the Soul album by what was this dude's name? It's a soul album. I forgot his name. Well, I'm gonna put it when you know we'll do it in post. It might have Duran Jones.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah, I think Duran Jones, right? I know you're talking and about. The thing is, why he would be an easy make for this list is also a reason why one of the reasons why I took Taylor Swift off of it is that so John Baptiste is pretty much he's competing with John Baptiste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'll be competing with John Baptiste on this list. So if you have John Baptiste, you could easily slide in Duran Jones. Although John Baptiste album is just like at another level. Yep. But yeah, I would replace Taylor Swift with Duran Jones or freaking the Baby Rose album. So the thing that I want to pull a pin, I put a pin in earlier, I'll pull that now, is that you have to you got to get your work in before September to be able to qualify. It's got to be before September in order to qualify. So there's some albums that came out that didn't quite make the cut because of the timing, but they're going to have to be on the radar for next year, right? So that one album was one that that I mentioned that was just not it just came out a little too late. This was Victoria Monet. That one came out a little too late in September, but they did extend it for 2 weeks for some reason. I don't remember why, but they extended the window for like 2 weeks. So it could have slid in there, but it wouldn't be fair probably because it's so late in the season. If it came out, even if you nominated in early September, that it might not have had a chance to because again, part of this crap is a goddamn popularity contest. So it wouldn't have had a chance to, you know, get its numbers up to do it justice, right? So some albums that have come out that after that deadline that I'm predicting, I'm already gonna give you the prediction. And we've featured them on Challenge Day again. We put it on wax, go through our catalog. Diddy, that Love album that Diddy put out.
Okay.
Guarantee you, I ain't gonna guarantee it, but because of all the factors that I know the Grammys be about, like if I would come up with a list, I wouldn't give it.
Feel like it's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it if I had my own list. If my list was this valid list that I had to make, I wouldn't put Diddy's album. But the way that they executed this project, I'm like, oh, this is like Leonardo DiCaprio begging for that goddamn Oscar with Revenant. You know what I mean? Like, Diddy put all of the formulaic stuff, all the stuff.
It's interesting.
It's still a good. And also the fact that it's a good album. You can't just put in the formulaic stuff and think it's gonna do, you know, get nominated. You still actually have a good album, and it's a really good album, right? So that's Diddy's Love album. Magic 3. Magic 3. So I remember I said Magic 2. I think could potentially have been not, but Magic 3 definitely should make that list for 2024. It came out again after that deadline, so it doesn't qualify for 2023. Black Pumas. Black Pumas should probably win. Hey, I don't know. Do you know how early it is to call that? It's November. We have until next August with music coming out. I'm gonna put it on wax right now. Black Pumas is gonna win the Grammy next year for Album of the Year. Watch that shit don't even get nominated.
listen. If y'all think Darwin capping, make sure y'all put in the comments that he big capping right now.
I might cap it if I believe it. I might cap if I believe it. If you think I'd be wrong, you think I'd be wrong, but
if you think he's wild, mention that.
No, you think I'm wild, you can say that.